5th of May, 9:15, 9:20 p.m. I just want to teach some of the people who have asked me how do we identify a trending chart versus a ranging chart. Um, to drive home the point today, I would just like to discuss the Euro INR and the USD INR chart in the Indian currency derivative segment. And so let us just have a look at this chart. So we have information from 2002, and what we see is that the security is generally characterized by higher highs and deep pullbacks. So even when it was trending, it was a weak trend. Till somewhere around 2013, 2014, the euro creates an all-time high against the rupee, and which we can see is 92. So here we have 92 level, which is the all-time high against the Indian rupee. It's followed up by a characteristic deep pullback, and then what we get is basically another high, and now we're looking at a third high. In other words, since 2014, we haven't seen, or 2013, we haven't seen, it's been 7 years, we haven't seen the euro create a new high, and therefore the question is this a possible is this a possible consolidation in a structural uptrend, or if the trend structure is still intact? So one of the best ways to see it is simply when we have a situation of multiple highs, we just connect the highs to one another from the extreme points. Yeah. And what we see is from the pivot 1, 2, and 3, we see a clear, means here we basically see a clear rejection from this particular upward trend line. So the question is this a relevant trend line, yes or no? So by definition, what we want is we want 3 clear tests. So the first one lays the foundation. The second test is confirmed here because we see that after creating a high of 86, we see the euro make a low of 76, which is a good around 15% correction. We see a rectangular pattern formation and a breakout with the high which gets immediately rejected, and and so what we have here is basically a structure in which we have uneven highs and lows, and whenever we have an uneven high and low, we have a range. If we have clear highs and lows, we have a trend. So once again, if we have uneven highs and lows, so we have a range. A clear high and low is a trend, and sometimes these uneven highs and lows result in the formation of a possible pattern. The question is there a possibility of a pattern? So when we get the upper extremity defined, if we connect the lows, the extreme lows, we see that there is a hypothesis that it could be a triangle-like structure, and that the euro could be consolidating for a longer time, provided that the lower trend line holds. Now, since we have only 2 tests here, and we are still waiting for a third test somewhere on the lows of say 72, 74, or till wherever the structure reaches, we are unsure whether or not this trend line will hold. And therefore, while the upside is reasonably well defined, we are yet looking for a possible support on the lower part of the trend line to qualify this as an ascending triangle. Why ascending triangle? Because we know that the preceding move was upward. Okay, it's not necessarily an ascending triangle, it's basically a triangle with the preceding move upward, and generally it is expected that the breakout will be in the direction of the preceding move, but we also know that the fundamentals have changed slightly, so it's possible to trade the euro on the sell side with the possible target around these levels, with the hypothesis that this could be a ranging structure. If we compare this with the USD INR chart, we see a clearly new high formation. So we have a higher top, a higher bottom, and a higher top formation. So if I simply select a structure like this, here we have 1, 2, and 3. Right. So the question is where to expect the pullback of such a security. So one of the hypotheses is we simply set up a moving average, and within the moving average, what we really get is a possible support at 50 or 200. And if you want to check where it is more likely, so since we have the previous pullback till the 200 weekly moving average, we should expect that in the future that this currency is trading somewhere between the 50 or the 200, as which Barry Burns defines as the value zone. So maybe somewhere between this region here, we should find the USD actually taking support. And yeah, so if you compare the USD INR to the Euro INR, we clearly see the difference in the strength in the same time frame, and that basically gives us the idea of whether or not one is trending and one is ranging. Right. Hope this helps. Thank you for your time. Have a good day. Cheers.